A somber tribute to American heroes has made its way to the Texas Tech campus, and you have a chance to see it in person. Coming up, we'll have all the details on the Traveling Vietnam Veterans Memorial.
The smells of Native American and Mexican cooking filled the Human Sciences building during a special event. Find out how an award-winning chef shared his culinary skills with the Tech community in celebration of Hispanic Latinx Heritage Month.
And history could be made this weekend as longtime rival Texas makes a stop in Lubbock to kick off the Big 12 season. But are the Red Raiders up for the challenge? MCTV's Nathan Boles has a preview of this weekend's matchup and more in sports.
This is the MCTV Weekday Update.
Welcome to the Thursday edition of MCTV's Weekday Update. I'm Natalee Gomez.
And I'm Noah Crayton.
On January 27, 1973, the United States formally ended its involvement in the Vietnam War. The conflict, which included U.S. soldiers for nearly 8 years, resulted in more than 47,000 American deaths.
9 years later, the Vietnam Veterans Memorial opened in Washington, D.C., permanently recognizing all those who lost their lives in the war. And yesterday, a special ceremony was held here on campus to mark the opening of a temporary exhibit memorializing those who paid the ultimate price for our freedom. The American Veterans Traveling Tribune Vietnam Wall is currently located on the north side of Memorial Circle. The traveling wall was officially opened to the public yesterday afternoon following an opening ceremony. The ceremony included remarks from special guest speakers along with the laying of wreaths to honor those who lost their lives in the Vietnam War and later conflicts involving Americans. Dr. Ron Milam served as the keynote speaker for the event, and he gave his thoughts on the wall in D.C. and the importance of the traveling wall's stop on the Texas Tech campus.
I was against it because I didn't think it was designed properly to reflect the kind of war that we just fought. But as I said in my speech, I was completely wrong. It's one of the very most wonderful memorials in all of Washington. It's probably the second or third most visited. People still go there because now it's the names of grandpa, or it's still the names of people that they remember, and those people are still alive that remember those family members. So it's a very, very special place. But I teach the Vietnam War here at Texas Tech, and my students are still interested in war. It's one of our most popular history courses because I think there's still an attachment to a grandfather or to an uncle or somebody that served that may even still be alive, hopefully, that they can talk to. And a lot of those veterans haven't shared very many stories with their grandchildren, and hopefully with something like this happening, there will be more of that will go on in the homes.
Yesterday's ceremony finished with a 3-volley salute, the playing of taps, and a performance of Amazing Grace by a trio of bagpipers. The American Veterans Traveling Tribune Vietnam Wall will be on display in Memorial Circle between now and Sunday. The wall can be viewed anytime, but there will also be several wreath layings each day. The exhibit will end at 5 p.m. on Sunday following a special closing ceremony for the families who lost a loved one in service of our nation.
Throughout the months of September and October, Texas Tech is observing Hispanic Latinx Heritage Month. Yesterday afternoon, on-campus festivities continued with a special talk and cooking demonstration by award-winning chef. Chef Adan Morano made a stop at the Human Sciences building at 2:30 on Wednesday. Hundreds of students gathered in room 169 to listen to Medrano talk about the Native American roots of Texas Mexican culinary heritage. During the lecture, Medrano also demonstrated how to make traditional enchiladas. Along with his cooking skills, Medrano is also an author and a filmmaker who spent 23 years traveling the world and learning about culinary traditions. Along with yesterday's cooking demo, the Department of Hospitality and Retail Management also hosted a dinner at the Skyview restaurant featuring Medrano's creations. Medrano was available after both events for signing of his most recent book.
Service Week continues here on Tech Campus with several options for students to help out the local community and have some fun. The Battle of the Halls blood drive is currently taking place at the Sub Red Raider Lounge. The blood drive kicked off on Monday and has continued every day from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Although the drive is open to the entire Tech community, students living in the on-campus residence halls can have their donation count in a competition to see which dorm gives the most blood. Next week, the winner of the Battle of the Halls blood drive will be announced through the Resident Halls Association's social media accounts. The last day for the year's drive is tomorrow, and the walk-ins are welcome. But if you prefer to make an appointment, visit donors.vitalent.org. And Student Activities Board is also continuing to offer options for Service Week. SAB will host their final event tomorrow afternoon in the Sub Courtyard. Students passing through the Sub can stop from noon to 2 p.m. tomorrow to make their own sensory bottle. The activity includes a free bottle, which then can be filled with a fluid and other objects to create a unique and relaxing personalized keepsake. Supplies are limited, and the event will end when all of the bottles are gone. To keep up with all of the Student Activity Board's fun and free events, visit sab.ttu.edu. Today marks the official start of fall in the Northern Hemisphere. The autumn equinox takes place at 8:04 p.m. tonight, marking the transition from day to night and the only time that both are equal during the last 6 months of the year.
The sun setting earlier is an obvious sign that the fall is here, but beyond that, it's hard to tell that summer is coming to an end. Temperatures have climbed near 90 degrees every day this week, and it isn't looking much different. So when can we expect fall conditions to make their way to the South Plains? Let's take a look at the MCTV forecast. The MCTV Tower Cam is showing bright blue skies this afternoon. Highs for today have been climbing steadily since a cool start in the upper 50s this morning. Before sunset, temperatures should just top out below 90 degrees. Overnight, skies will remain clear and temperatures will cool back into the 60s. Tomorrow, the first full day of fall will bring a return of 90-degree temperatures and even more sunshine. Winds will be a bit more breezy tomorrow, but overall it should be a nice day. There won't be much to change on Saturday, with another round of 90 degrees temperatures in the afternoon. Along with the sunshine, it should be a pretty warm afternoon if you're planning to head to the Jones for the Tech versus Texas game. Sunday will also be another sunny and warm day, but it could mark the last time we see temperatures at or near 90s for the near future. Looking ahead, a cold front is forecasted to move into the area on Sunday night, dropping highs into the 80s and possibly bringing in some of the coolest morning temperatures we've seen since the spring. One of the biggest football games of the year is scheduled for this Saturday as the Texas Longhorns head into town for a showdown at the Jones.
MCTV's Nathan Boles joins us in the studio with a preview of this weekend's game and a look around Tech athletics in sports. Nathan?
Thanks, Noah and Natalie. Texas Tech football will have a sellout crowd for the first time since 2018. Tech will play number 22 Texas on Saturday in a game that means a lot more than the start to Big 12 play. Texas is leaving for the SEC no later than 2025, but the Big 12 is open to making a deal for both Texas and Oklahoma to leave earlier. Combine that with how far out non-conference schedules are decided, and it's likely that this may be the last time Tech will welcome the Longhorns to Lubbock. On Monday, Joey McGuire let Texas Tech fans know that during the game, bottles cannot be thrown on the field like some were during the Houston game.
That came out of the student section, and it was Texas Tech fans. I know we want to deflect sometimes, but that was happening, and that's not what we're about. But we're going to give, we're definitely going to give them a reason to celebrate.
Texas Tech has not beaten Texas since 2017 when Tech won 27-23 in Austin, and they haven't beaten them at home since 2008 when Michael Crabtree made this catch that propelled Tech to number 2 in the rankings that year. Texas will be Tech's third straight ranked opponent after beating Houston and losing to NC State. The game starts at 2:30. Bryce Ramirez is back in Lubbock. Great news. He had 2 surgeries in Raleigh over the week after suffering a terrible left leg fracture during Saturday's game against North Carolina State. Bryce tweeted that he's, quote, glad to be back in the 806, but enough about me. We got a game to win this Saturday. Let's go. Like football, Texas Tech soccer will be at home this week to start Big 12 play. West Virginia was picked 3rd in the Big 12 preseason poll, but Texas Tech was picked right behind them at 4th. The young team finished non-conference with a 2-0 win over Fresno State. They've scored 8 goals in their last 3 games, and the program now has 100 wins at the Walker. 101 might be coming in either of Tech's next 2 games, but they're both very tough. West Virginia will play Tech tonight at 7 p.m., and then Tech soccer will also have to play Texas, ranked 25th, on Sunday at 1 p.m. Texas Tech volleyball is also starting their Big 12 season on Saturday, but they're not going to start at home yet. Tech ended their non-conference schedule with the Red Raider Classic. Texas Tech is currently 11-2 going into Big 12 play for one of the best starts in program history. However, West Virginia volleyball is not easy. Tech will play West Virginia in Morgantown. ESPN Plus will have that game starting at 1 p.m. on Saturday. That's all for sports. Back to you, Noah and Natalie.
Thanks, Nathan. So Noah, do you think that the Red Raiders will finally be able to have a win at the Jones this weekend?
If I got to be honest, I think it's going to be an uphill battle, but I think we have what it takes. If we run that ball, if we make our plays and stay consistent, I really think we can get a victory for the Jones.
I agree, and with all that energy there this weekend, it'll sure be a good showdown.
For sure.
Well, that's all for today's edition of the MCTV's Weekday Update.
Thanks so much for joining us, and be sure to check out ttuhub.net every day for more news. We'll see you next week.